what's up, everybody? This is Extra Mild Sauce Podcast. We are back for episode 3.
Episode 3.
What up?
Got my man A-Dub
Yo.
to the right. Got my man No Name to the left.
So that's just gonna be a running joke forever.
How you be a Wu-Tang fan and ain't got no nickname?
Right.
Yo, they still got the Google.
Like, you gotta have like multiple
They still
nicknames.
got the Googles up where you can put your name in. Shaolin Monk Williams. It's gonna be my joint.
Man, yeah, we gotta put them in. What is it? Just like the nickname generator?
Yeah.
Something. This is
You gotta
ridiculous.
put Buddy on the generator, man.
But with sometime we gotta get you something. We gotta get a better nickname than just it's Steph.
Hey,
Steph
man.
in the building.
Hey, no alias required.
Alright. If you say so.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in.
And they don't know who you are. He just the guy with the iPad.
They
They know him now.
Oh, he want to color the data. So let him know.
They know me.
Rojo.
Rojo.
All right, so we're going to jump right in today. I wanted to jump into this Jay-Z interview. Did you guys see it with the New York Times?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thought it was fresh.
Okay. So Jay touched on a lot of things. So he talked through OJ. He talked through his marriage. Talked through his music and Beyonce's music. Even talked through some things as far as being a black man and what we're supposed to do. So any thoughts you guys want to share on that?
Yeah. We always say what we like as a broad spectrum of it. So all in all, I thought the interview was pretty good.
Yeah.
I felt like Jay was candid. He was pretty straightforward. I think the interviewer, Dean Baquet, I think he did a good job of really asking him some great questions.
Mm-hmm.
I think he asked them some questions that was uncomfortable, but he asked them in a way that they weren't abrasive. And it also didn't allow Jay any wiggle room to dance around the answers. But then on the other side of that, I felt like, you could tell that Jay is still in that vulnerable space, but he's getting used to it. I think he's embracing it. He's starting to get more comfortable with being vulnerable.
Right.
He's not trying to hide behind that persona anymore. I thought it felt real natural. It wasn't nothing that they just put on for a show.
Yeah.
That's the part that I really liked about it. It felt true. It felt genuine. But it is a lot of interesting things, a lot of interesting points that he had. One thing that I really liked about it was the fact that he said both of their albums really spawned out of them wanting to have a collaborative project.
Yeah.
And it just ended up being Lemonade and 444. I thought that was real interesting. Right. But more than anything, I just the fact that he really broke down how growing up young black, that we're almost taught to be emotionless.
Right.
You can't show that because that's a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you can't afford to be weak out here. So I thought that was one thing that he highlighted, and I thought that it rings true even to today's standards. With the inability to be vulnerable. It's like nobody ever wants to be vulnerable. Nobody ever wants to be touched.
Right.
But you mentioned him being vulnerable. Do you think with Beyonce coming out first, he didn't really have a choice?
I think I think that she kind of forced his hand.
I disagree.
I feel like you have to tell your story after that. I don't think you have a choice, especially because she gave so much, throughout that album and all the things that she had been through. A lot of it he had put her through.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I will say the biggest thing to me I noticed was his growth and maturity.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's him having kids. I don't know if it's going through this and going to therapy, but I could definitely see the growth. I think over the last year that's the thing I've been most excited with about Jay, utilizing his platform to talk to the black community, talking about wealth, talking about what we need to do differently. Also just sharing that everyone being rich isn't going to solve any problem, right? Having the ability for us to have these dialogues and have an opportunity to help people and do different things. That's what makes life. So I really enjoyed it. I do think that his hand was forced. Like, he was forced to be vulnerable.
So.
I don't think that that's a comfortable space for him. Like, he talked through like Song Cry, but Song Cry is like a open letter that we don't really know who it's to.
Right.
This is very direct. Like, this is very direct. Everyone knows what happened here.
I don't think his hand was forced. It is he could have tap danced around it. He could have not said anything, and Jay album would have came out and it would have sold. It would have did numbers because it's Jay.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have had to say nothing. He wouldn't have. People would have gave him a little backlash about it. It was like, well, they want to hear his side. They want to hear him speak his piece about whatever happened and yada yada yada. But none of that would have affected anything with the music or people going to listen, because if Jay dropped anything, folks gonna play it.
I was done after Magna Carta Holy Grail.
You are part of the few, very small percentage.
That wasn't a good album. Like, him just talking his talk.
Nothing to do.
No, I'm just saying, and what I'm saying is him just talking in regular old J talk. Like, I'm tired of that after 40 something years. Man, we've heard that like many times. Like, I was excited to hear him tell different stories. I think the story of OJ, like right out the gate when that album started, was like, okay, we're gonna get something that I've been looking for a long time.
I'm glad he gave us what he gave us. But even if he would have gave us some more crap or another Magna Carta Holy Grail, another Kingdom Come, folks would have bought it. They would have streamed it. It was
crap. Thank you.
But my thing. Okay, what I said that though is to say that this is Jay is in a spot or a realm where it doesn't matter what you drop, folks gonna listen. He's in that spot, as to where it doesn't matter what you really think about the album, it's gonna do numbers. Yeah, it's a select few who have that spot. He's one. Right,
and that's what I'm saying. Ultimately, his platform though is he's using it in the right way now. Is what I'm excited.
I dig that.
50. Like we talked about it. I think it was episode 1. He can't continue to rap about Block Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah. It's not. It doesn't mesh well with what he's doing now.
Right.
So, like you referenced the OJ track. You can say it was his coming of age, but it's his age. He's 50.
Right. Yeah.
Right. He's 50.
And he touched on that about, being in that what he called the white hot space, and he knows that he's not in that white hot space anymore. If referring back to the actual interview, he talks about being the guide, being that number one person where all the light is on him, the publicity, the stardom. He's acknowledging the fact that he's no longer in the white hot space, meaning that Jay isn't in the forefront or the focal point of hip hop. He even said it himself. He stretched out that white hot space longer than most people. Yeah. He's not in that anymore. Right. But his niche or his lane that he is in right now allows him to still be able to reach a multitude of people.
Right.
So much so to a point that even if he didn't address anything that had to do with his infidelity or the Kanye stuff, this album would have sold. He could have kept talking about paintings and cars and Blue Ivy, and folks, it would have bought it.
It would have sold. It would have sold, but I think this impacted people. Like, this is what I'm excited about. Is like the impact. I think that this interview impacted people. Like, I think walking away from this, I know even more. I loved when he talked about being the only black man in the room in business meetings, right?
Yeah.
I've been in that before, so I know what that's like not having your opinion.
I'm trying to be in that. Respected. I ain't been there yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to be in that. Yeah.
It's an interesting feel, right? Like, you really have to assert yourself to be accepted, and it doesn't happen immediately, right? Like, your ideas aren't accepted immediately. So to be able to step into a space like that and hold your own. And do it consistently, and now that's your life at this point, right? Like, that's what you're ultimately doing is you're speaking for us whenever you have the opportunity to do so, and then using the album like to have crossover success. When I say that, like, nominated for Grammys for Story of OJ, like I thought that would probably be the last song nominated for a Grammy.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Right, that wasn't. I don't think that was what he was going for with that. Right, but the impact that it had was tremendous, and I think that speaks volumes to when you actually give the people some substance. I know we listen to mumble rap,
Right.
Mumble rap is the big thing right now, but when you give the people some substance, that's what they need. They need that soul.
And imagine the responsibility that is. That, you know, it's like essentially you are the voice of your people,
Right.
or at least of the culture, you know. As he's starting to get up in age, like you say, he's 48, 50 years old, he's still speaking for the youth. That's how you know how much of an impact you've made, when you are transcending your own generation. Now, you're not just talking to you're not talking to and for the 40 and 50-year-olds, because when other people outside of the culture listen to Jay-Z, they still know that he's representing that young black 16-year-old male.
And that's what I thought was odd when he stated that he wasn't in that white hot space anymore.
Yeah.
His name is like, if you were to say Rolling Stone, Elvis Presley. So when you have that name like that, you're going to continue to always be white hot.
Right.
No matter when you drop
makes
your last album, you're going to continue to always have that spark just because of your name. Michael Jackson, he will wait, almost 9 years to drop an album.
Yeah.
Prince dropped one every day. You know,
True.
But it's still the same. The name still merit that same weight. So when he said that he's not in that white hot space, he may not. Maybe he meant that popularity of the Uzis,
And that's what I was gonna say.
you know.
I think that's what he was referencing, was more so like the people that are current right now,
Yeah.
or that people are checking for consistently. Right. He can pop in, pop out, but have a large impact. Yeah.
Eminem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like I said, it's a select few. M is definitely that guy.
A single flop.
Man, the single didn't flop. The single was what it was. It was. I thought it was straight.
The single.
You know, and I'm gonna be honest. I went back and I listened.
It's decent,
To
right? It's decent, right?
the
Come
track.
on, Steph.
This is not okay.
And
Come on, Steph.
Confessions of
What kind of
Eminem right
influence this
now.
dude?
It's okay.
Quit influencing.
No, he's not influencing me. I got my own mind.
Come on, like Dave Chappelle with the Rick James.
I understood what he was trying to do, or what he did. I wouldn't even say try to do.
He accomplished
And I
what he was
respect
looking
it.
for.
And once I got past my bias and just listened to the album, the record, it was dope. It was straight.
It's not.
Thank you. That's it.
It
That's
was
it.
It's not
straight.
good.
We don't need to say nothing else,
It's
B.
not good sonically. I said that I agreed with that the message was dope.
Now, was this a pre-single? It may have been a test single.
Nah, because I don't.
But if
in
it's
writing the next,
the album
like,
is what, the 21st, something like that.
real soon.
December something.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's a second single.
So
I don't think he has the time.
White Hot, he can do that.
He can.
Yeah,
He can release that and still sell 3
yeah,
mil.
for sure. He's
So what-
definitely one of the people.
So going back to Jay, what do you think is next for Jay? If we talk about music wise, what do you think he goes next?
I think Jay has always been really smart, really business savvy, really strategic. I don't think he brings up the Beyonce collaborative album without necessarily having a plan for that. Jay knows how to toss something out there for you just to see if you're gonna bite. People gonna bite. And as soon as they do, he tossed that out there to just say, okay, well, how would they feel about a Jay-Z Beyonce collaborative joint? What are we gonna get out of that? Is that something that the people want? He's just waiting on a response back.
Well, it's gonna
They got that
sell
locked and loaded.
in
Yeah.
general. But
Oh,
do I need to hear a Beyonce Jay-Z collab? No.
My thing is this: since Rojo Red like to talk, since he like to talk about misses, you've never got one out of them. You never have a Jay-Z Beyonce collab in a miss.
That was a miss.
Never, not one.
No, I would
Where are they on a track together and they miss? Not one.
I don't think that's
They don't
one.
got one.
I-
So
and-
imagine getting the album.
And I'm leery because what they gonna talk about, being at home and being in love? I don't see where it fits. Or is Jay-Z gonna go back to the Bonnie and Clydes, or
Do we know the date in which this interview was?
I believe it was.
I
think
know
it
it
was
was
September,
uploaded.
or
Yeah.
it was September,
Okay.
or I think
'Cause
it
I
was
was just
late.
gonna say,
I
if
think
you
it was
ever-
like the latter part of the fall, I believe.
isn't the nappy head Jay the signal that he's working on the album?
You might be right.
That's the signal.
You might
right?
no
You're
fade
right.
Jay.
You're right.
Yeah,
No fade Jay.
when
He got
just-
something in the works.
Right.
I'm for it. I'm definitely listening to Beyonce Jay-Z collaborative album.
Yeah, I think something's coming. I don't know what. but I think something's coming. Nappy-head Jay was out.
Free Memphis. Let me get another Bleak album, man. I know I'm the bias here. Give me a Bleak
No,
album.
I like Bleak.
Give me a Bleak.
I like
joint, man.
Bleak. You just not gonna get it.
I saw a
Jay
Bleak
got that
freestyle
man
on YouTube the other day and was, oh my.
What was it? It was
Bleak is trash.
it was probably shot in 480.
What?
If it was a Memphis
No,
Bleak.
man, he out of the
534 was a
Duce
classic.
Man,
The best song on 534 was Dear Summer.
Right. That's what I'm about to say. Like, who's waiting? Like, I can't wait for the
Round Here was
Bleak
dope.
album.
Round Here was on there. But
It wasn't dope because of him.
yeah, it was. Bleak verse on
Bleak.
We not gonna bash
Trick
Bleak.
and Tip.
They killed it. We not
That's
gonna
the
bash
only reason
Bleak.
that's a dope track. The beat
Bleak.
was, who was that? Blaze?
Yeah, just Blaze.
I
Just
don't go
Blaze.
to that song. Be like, I can't wait for Bleak verse. I can't
Bleak
remember
rocked
saying
that
that in my
joint,
life,
man.
except for verses that Jay wrote.
Okay.
see, here you go, man.
Just keep it
Hey, that 1-900 hustler.
right.
Man,
Like, how do you?
that was
So
cold.
we
Who's checking for Bleak?
I'm checking for Bleak.
He said right. He said it.
I'm checking for Bleak.
Hey, but he put the disclaimer out before we
Exactly.
started. He said,
Just like out of
he said, I know
Wu-Tang,
y'all ain't doing
Like
it
out of Wu-Tang, my favorite one is Master Killer. People ain't checking for Master Killer
at all.
at all, but listen to his stuff.
I've listened to
It's
Bleak.
up there. Listen to Master Killer, the one of
All
the
right, man.
consistent. But back to Jay.
Yeah.
I digress.
So interested to see what the next steps look like.
Yeah.
I definitely think that we see the growth and him maturing. I really think that this is the point in time that we really see him make some large impact on the world. I think as he's used his voice in different ways, even like the Meek stuff or things like that, like people attach themselves to it quickly, you know. So I think that this is just an opportunity for him to continue to impact the world without having to drop an album every year. So,
Yeah, and he spoke about that too, about being able to utilize his voice, utilize his impact. So he doesn't have to drop an album for us to say what's next from Jay. He can still be impactful so many other ways, and I'm interested to see what it's gonna be next, because we don't know what it's gonna end up being. It could be in a bunch of different ways. It might just be with him, I don't know, saying something or collabing with Kaepernick, because he said they was going. He said that they working on something.
Yeah.
Jay always been real cryptic with just
I can see him
tossing
getting
stuff
more
out there.
into that
I love
artsy
that.
vein. Remember the doc that he did that was based around the art performance?
Right.
I can see him, kind of diving more into that other realm of artistic value, if you will, for lack of a better term. I can see that more than another album. But if he was to drop another Reasonable Doubt or anything like that, I'll listen to it. But
I'm in line for it,
Yeah.
for sure. It don't matter what he dropped. I'm in tune with whatever Jay got going. He didn't always been influential to me, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So if he executive produced 543 2.0,
man,
534, my bad.
man, I'm buying that one on iTunes. No download.
Man,
Shout out to Bleak. Shout out to Bleak, man.
I don't want to waste the space on my phone. Man.
Oh, that's petty.
Moving on. Let's talk about Russell Simmons.
Uncle Russ.
And his sexual misconduct.
Oh man.
Multiple situations.
Allegedly. Yeah, we talked. We
Allegedly.
definitely got to float allegedly on this one. This is some heavy accusations.
Yeah,
Right.
man.
All right. So first, a model came out on the 19th of November in the LA
But
Times.
can we call her a model? Do we have to give her a current title, which is a screenwriter?
Are we talking about the first one or the second?
No. The second chick is the screenwriter. The
Oh
first
my
one-
goodness, my man got two.
Yeah. It's the white
You
girl.
didn't
So
know?
speak
I'm
speak
sorry.
on, speak on.
The
Speak
name,
on.
I can't remember her name. I got it in here somewhere.
Carrie Clausen.
Yeah, Carrie
Yeah.
Clausen. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't just call it
So-
a white broad.
Okay.
That was kind of bogus.
Yeah.
My bad.
So, November 19th, in the LA Times, she came out. She was the first accuser. And then immediately after, well, not immediately, the 22nd of November, Simmons addressed it via the Hollywood Reporter, just talking through that it was erroneous. But then we had Jenny Lumet come out and talk about a situation in
That's the
1987.
That's a screenwriter, right?
That's
Okay.
a screenwriter. Right.
Okay, that's the only one I saw.
That's Lena Horne's granddaughter.
Yeah.
So what she said is that in 1987 she met Russell Simmons.
It's
right?
always some old stuff, right? It's always some old stuff. Rustin forgot about it, just like Bill. Bill listened to the story. Bill Cosby listened to your story like, I did that shit. Russ sitting back like, I ain't do that. Did I do that? I was high as hell. I don't remember that.
Yeah, but she said Rick Rubin introduced them. In 1987. She spoke very highly of Rick Rubin. But she said in 1991, between that time frame, between those 4 years, that she had seen him multiple times, but they were always with groups, and they had mutual friends. He had tried to send flowers, things like that. But in 1991, she actually took a ride home with him, or was supposed to be a ride home with him.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right. And when she gave the driver the address, he was like, no.
Allegedly. She coming to my crib, fam.
Allegedly.
I mean, but then
she said she told him again, and he was like, no, again, all aggressively, right? And then they're taking
we laughing. It's not a laughing matter.
Not.
It's just, if you read the story though, the way
crazy.
the story go is it's got some humor to it. So she's like, yeah, make it right up here.
Yeah.
But, nah, fam.
And
we going back to my spot.
Yeah. Then she said when they got back, that he wasn't like extremely physical with her, but that he used his size and things like that.
That's the part that
used his size. Like what? Russ like what? 5'7"?
Man.
Maybe.
I don't know how big she is though.
How big she is? She ain't that big either.
Okay. Well, so forced her into the apartment.
Right.
And then she says that allegedly that he forced his semi-hard penis into her. But that she wasn't really trying to stop.
Yeah, like that's the part.
That's the part. I was
like,
yeah, it's like
I don't know.
So look, Russ. Here's the thing, though. Russ didn't say that this didn't happen. He
absolutely
just said
didn't say that.
He just says that I don't remember it like she remembers
it.
Yeah,
story's off.
Right. He was like, okay, and I'm sorry that if that's how it was, then I'm sorry that she felt that way. This is heavy though. I know we laughing and making a little bit lighter of the matter, but this is real heavy.
I mean, I guess it's the big thing to me is it's like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's 30 years ago. So I'm sure that he had forgot about it at this point. But it does lead me to one thing, is that if we have two this quickly, how many cases is it? And the other thing I think that jumps out to me is there going to be anybody else in hip hop?
Oh hell yeah. It's coming. They
It's
finna
the
open up the door.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave Chappelle said it a few months ago. As long as you save more than you rape. That's what he said in the show.
Absolutely.
This is finna be heavy. It's gonna be a lot of people who are about to have their entire personas, their entire body of work torn down. I mean, because let's put it into perspective with who Russ is. He's a mogul. Mm-hmm. He's a philanthropist. He's an activist. He's a leader, in my opinion, in the black community. And now you have a blemish like this. You can't come back from this. If you would have heard, if it would have been like, okay, Russ did crack back in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's the 80s. Cool. We off that. Don't nobody care. He can bounce back from that. Nobody bounces back from rape, dog.
No, you can't. No.
Nobody bounces back from rape. You can't. You can't. That's just one thing. Is just you can't overcome that. Once you get charged, not even charged, because the man ain't.
No, and that's what I was gonna say.
That's the thing about it.
There's no action. It doesn't sound like being
and that's the
safe.
PR move. I have to denounce all of. No, I'm fighting. But that's a battle. Like when we were driving in today, a comedian stated that Ari Spears stated that Chelsea Handler was on Bill Maher, and she stated that you have to always believe the woman.
Yeah.
Granted, we don't take anything that happened to the alleged victims lightly, but when did that become the standard, the norm, the mores? When did that become the law?
It shouldn't be.
I think that's always been how it is. Like I think,
but
and I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying that as long as someone makes an allegation, everyone believes it, right? Even if their name is cleared, eventually, it's still. Like that's how you're like Cosby right now. Cosby is right. Cases is dropping left and right.
Yeah.
But Bill Cosby is still like
no.
the butt end of jokes.
No.
Bill Cosby ain't the butt end of jokes.
You can't, man. You don't do that, man.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that,
it is.
I'm not
what
saying
it
he
is.
did it. I'm
Don't
just
do
saying
that,
this
man.
is what
It was a
is.
different time, man. That's what went down back then. Don't call him.
You
Bill
can't.
Cosby,
No,
man.
you can't say. He's like, oh,
That's a
man, it was
different
the
time,
60s.
man.
Everything was
Man,
hip, and
that-
everybody was doing
That was a
drugs.
different time, man.
Everybody was doing drugs. It's okay.
No,
Bend
y'all
over.
can't
It's
talk
like,
about Bill,
what?
man. I'm sorry. If
It
that
don't
man
matter
was to
to-
pass today, I'm dropping all tears, man. I love Bill.
Yeah, because and that's what
That
I'm
don't mean he
saying.
wouldn't do it.
That's
He
what I'm
wouldn't
saying about. But I'm saying the same thing
Right.
about Russ.
Yeah.
Look at the impact of what he had on hip hop, the black community, and continuously trying to move us forward. We can't all of a sudden erase everything that he did, but this blemish is always going to be bigger
Right.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he never gets tried, even if he never gets accused of any other woman. As long as these two said, Russ touched me and I didn't want that,
Right.
everybody's going to look at him as, okay, rapist, then a mogul, then a philanthropist, then
Absolutely.
an activist in the
Right.
black community.
Those last
Everything
two
is-
probably drop off.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Those
she's
two probably
taking his
drop
voice
off.
from him at this point in time. Like, he has no voice.
And the
anymore.
thing is, he already didn't step down
Yeah.
from his businesses, which I
Yeah.
think is a really smart move. Last thing you want to do is be a bigger distraction. So I'm
I
with
think that's a PR move too.
Yeah, that's PR.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
of
still getting my
course.
profit off of them. People will still put
Yeah.
money into these businesses, right? Everybody's gonna boycott it if I have these rape allegations.
But you still want to remove yourself from that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
space,
yeah.
because you're in the boardroom,
Now-
possibly more than likely with other women in the boardroom who
Yeah.
sit as a chair on the board, and then now all of a sudden they feel uncomfortable because of these accusations that
Right,
you have.
right.
So it's a smart move. Get out of the boardroom. Get out of the way. Fall back to
until
wherever
things
you
die
at.
down, because I think
Yeah.
in 3-4 years,
Yeah.
5 years, he's gonna be right back in the boardroom.
I'm
So,
hoping
yeah.
so. I'm hoping all of this blows over
it's-
very quickly.
Right. And I think there's another situation where a dude with money can make things go away.
Yeah. Especially
got
if they're
that.
false. If they're false
Yeah.
and under different, false pretense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never know. Man.
Yeah, it's really hard to come back from rape. I mean, the only person I can really think of that, like, I think eventually people kind of forgot about it was Kobe.
Because that wasn't rape.
No.
Shorty had like 4 or 5
But he went to
others.
trial.
Yeah, he did.
Went to trial, and that's what did it, I think, for him. And
White folks come back from rape all the time. I'm gonna just say.
yeah, that's very true. I'm talking
white-
about a black man.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I was
Black
about to say
man.
because there's a
I
bunch
should
of
have prefaced it.
the white man.
White man.
We got it in there.
He done came back from a few. Hey, I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Keeping it real, everybody. It's Woody Harrelson, and the list goes on. We can, but that's a whole nother thing. We got enough race coming up later on in the show.
Yeah, but I pray that
But-
that is not true. But yeah, it's
It's really tough because you never want to look at Russ in that light because of the person that he is and all of the different things that he's given hip hop. And you know what? He's a role model. You can't say anything other than that. But now they tossing this in. Now that next thing is okay. Yeah, he could be all of those things, but he's a rapist.
Yep.
He's always gonna have
He's a
the
rapist
asterisk.
first,
Right.
right.
The asterisk is there.
Right.
And that hurts.
Yeah, it does. I really hope. I mean, I felt the same way about Bill Cosby too. Like the first couple of times, I'm like, I don't know if this is legit. But then as the cases started piling up, I'm like, oh man, like, you know, at that point in time, I'm like, okay, there might be some validity to this at this point.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because with Bill,
Because it was like 17 women.
yeah, even my affinity for Bill, I still know what's legit. Like, yo, you did this.
yeah,
Like that's done.
Yeah. 32
Yeah.
women ain't lying, Bill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But that's the thing. Like, I don't know if is it a law or something that says, yo, you gotta wait. You know,
a certain
a
amount of
century,
time.
half a
The
century
statute of limitations.
to come out with your rap. You know, it's,
Yeah, I don't know. One of my homies said neither one of them would have said anything if he would have just reloaded the amount on their rush card.
man. But then boom.
My bad. I'm trying to make light of a ugly situation. Maybe I should have left that one out. Steph, you gonna edit this later?
Nah.
No, we're gonna keep it in there.
We're gonna do it live. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna do it live.
Oh man, what we got next, man? Let's move on before I get burnt up out here.
So let's go ahead and get into Mike Flynn's guilty plea. So I know you guys saw that this week.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what happened with Mike Flynn? So allegedly he denied that he had discussed U.S. sanctions against Russia with their ambassador. And when asked about it by the FBI, he did lie and say that he never had those discussions. Now, this was prior to Trump taking office that he discussed these sanctions. So we have to remember that lying to FBI is considered a federal offense. It's actually a felony.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so one very interesting thing was that the president of the United States, not going to say my president, the president of the United States.
That Steph guy, remember?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you don't know who listening.
It's my man's.
So Steph guy said. But he's actually being looked at for obstruction of justice right now at this point.
Mm-hmm. One step closer to impeachment.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll see.
So the FBI director stated in his notes that Trump said to him, "I hope you can just let this go." So ultimately, it comes.
That's crazy,
right? Good
This guy.
Good old boy
crazy.
network talk.
Yeah.
That's good old boy network talk. Just sweep this under the rug.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is another time where I feel like our president really ain't a president. Like the president of the United States really is not a president. Like,
Felt like that since January.
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying this is another showing of that.
Yeah, for sure.
So if they can prove that he had knowledge of Flynn lying under oath, or that he was aware of what they had found in the investigation, then it is very possible that he can. I mean, it would constitute an obstruction of justice.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys really looked into this story?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't. I dabbled in it a little bit just because I hate politics with a passion, and this just makes me hate it even more. Although you never want to just not pay attention at all, you want to make sure that you always still informed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because at the end of the day, these are still the people who can change your livelihood with laws and different regulations that they pass in the middle of the night. So, I mean, you always still got to be well aware of what's going on around you. But that's all that these people are, man. They just a bunch of liars, and all they do is just manipulate the system. That's all that this is. So, essentially, I understand what's going on. It's not that I'm naive to the fact and the ongoings of what's happening, but it's not surprising at all. We always had the speculations from the very beginning that this is something that he might have been doing, that it was tampering when it came to Russia. Yeah. This is something that they've been saying for the last 7-8 months. So this isn't anything. It's new news, but it isn't surprising news, in my opinion.
So I just want to read the tweet that Trump sent out on the 2nd. So he said, "I had to fire General Flynn because he lied to the Vice President and the FBI. He has pled guilty to those lies. It is a shame because his actions during the transition were lawful. There was nothing to hide!" Exclamation point.
He lying right there.
That man is nuts, man. For real, he's nuts.
So they did go back and say that his lawyer drafted this tweet, really to try to get him out of this.
But that's even worse.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever. You got to understand that eventually these lies and these backdoor deals that you got going on have to catch up. It ain't that many people you're going to be able to control, and enough news that you're going to be able to sweep under the rug without somebody tripping over it.
Yeah.
It's going to come to light, and it's starting to finally bubble up. This is it's really going to start getting heavy for him.
Yeah, I think his sense of entitlement is really going to be his downfall.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think we have a narcissist at president right now.
For sure.
He ultimately, anytime his name is brought up and it's not favorable, he goes after them.
Right.
And anything that he does that's minor, he wants glorified.
Yep.
Simple things, the Lonzo Ball situation. Anything that has to do with this country, just him showing up to Puerto Rico, shooting jump shots into the crowd, with paper
shooting
towels,
toilet paper,
anything,
paper towels.
You can't lead that way. It's no way possible.
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
So just watching him is just over this past. Is it a full year yet? It's not even a full year yet.
Next month.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like, just following Twitter, just seeing him come up on Twitter, consistently, just the things that he says, and these are American people that he's talking about. I think that's the thing that concerns me the most.
The same people you call yourself representing.
Yep. He has the highest, one of the highest, I should say, disapproval rates, I believe, of the last 8 presidents. It's like 64%.
Yeah.
So that means those that voted for him is like they're, the tide is turning with
all
it.
of a sudden they noticing like, who did I vote for, or this is the person that we really put in office.
And then if we look at his tax cut, did you see his proposed plan for that?
That's what I was talking about. Passing bills in the middle of the night.
And the lack of popularity with that, it's the worst, I think, tax cut. As far as like the people's feeling about it, like I think he got the worst ratings ever, worse than Bush. So,
and it's crazy. It's so much stuff to impeach him for, but it's so much red tape you have to go through to make that happen that. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays the entire 4 years. I wouldn't even be surprised if he get another 4. There's no way he should, but just the way we're built and set as a country, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Back to Flynn. So I know that he took a guilty plea.
Yeah.
But I guarantee that there's gonna be something where he's not going to speak on Trump or. I don't think his family goes to jail in this situation.
I don't think so either.
Just from what I was reading, I don't think that anyone in his family or really his immediate camp goes to jail.
Because his son-in-law is implemented all throughout the proceedings.
Mm-hmm. I don't see.
But I think that's going to be a part of his plea. Is going to be like what he can and can't say.
They'll find a way to make it go away.
Yeah. I think ultimately it's going to go away. Did you guys happen to see Trump with
the cold talkers?
Pocahontas, yes, and the cold talkers?
This dude is like just the disrespect of this man is let's change subjects. It's like this guy.
At some point, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're like, not that oblivious.
He's firing shots.
He can't be
during the ceremony.
That you're supposed to be, holding these people in high regard. Yeah, you're trying to celebrate the things that they did and the impact that they had for their people.
Right.
But yet you go up there and you degrade them with these little one-off jokes. Ain't nobody laughing, fam.
Right.
Who
and he said it like no one's gonna catch it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's him and his boys like in the White House just talking. No.
And then the secretary.
Oh, she act like he didn't say nothing wrong.
That's another nut, man. The stuff she has to cover up.
Has the worst job in America. Like when I really think about it.
Then don't take it. That's my thing.
I'm just saying.
I dig it.
When you have one of the dudes that just flips off at the mouth all day, and you have to go in and try to clean it up.
Right.
Immediately after.
Yeah, it's like, here we go again. What'd he say? Mm-hmm. This is like, how am I supposed to spin this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, it's unfortunate that this is what we have to deal with, but we should have seen this coming. We should have seen this coming before this man stepped into office, because of just the way that he ran his race. It is no different than, in my opinion, the way that he ran his political race is no different than how he's actually treating his presidency right now.
Absolutely.
He's giving us you are what we thought you were. Right. The whole Denny Green thing. It's like, this is what he is. So why are we surprised, 12 months in, 11 months in, it's the beginning of December. Why are we surprised with what he's given us as a president?
Yeah, and I think coming off of what we had as a president, like with Obama, it just makes it even more noticeable what we're dealing with right now, because
for sure
Obama was candid but was still very professional at all times. Always respectful, always celebrating other people along the way, and then we have everybody.
We're a laughing stock. America's a laughing stock right now.
Yeah, it's like we have the president is a reality TV show at this point. I feel like
he got a good background in that too.
And what's crazy, no one's entertained. You're not entertained by what you're doing. You're getting so many tweets it's backlash, and I can't believe this is what you're doing. No one is going, oh, you see what Trump? No one is laughing with him,
right?
And like you mentioned prior, he's a narcissist, so he feels he's doing a great job because his name is out there.
That's all
Trump
he cares
this,
about.
Trump that, but
this dude he's giving us exactly what I thought he would. He's done nothing that surprises me whatsoever. All of this is what I thought.
I like
the paper towels. The jump shots with the paper towals
Yeah.
you mentioned. That it's on my. That's disrespect. That's come on, man.
It's like, come on.
He's had more disrespect than anybody I've seen this year. Like,
when you say no chill,
he's more
he's no chill.
disrespectful than LeVar Ball.
Yeah,
That's
they neck and neck. They neck and neck. Yeah,
He's
for sure.
more disrespectful than LeVar Ball. I think that's why when LeVar disrespected him, I was just
Yeah.
You deserve it.
Right.
Tomato.
Yeah.
So Jesse McLaren tweeted this, and I retweeted it. He said, "If Flynn's actions get Trump impeached, then you have to admit he's pretty good at being national security advisor."
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey, there you go. Big ups for him. If he didn't make any other impact as a national security advisor, other than semi blowing this whistle on Trump, then if that's all you could give us, kudos to you, bro.
Right, we'll take it.
Yeah,
Because we don't know how deep this Russia thing goes. We don't know what happened on the back end, what the deal is. We don't know.
Yeah,
We don't know.
yeah. But I'm sure we'll probably get something in the next few weeks where he comes back and tries to bring up Hillary Clinton in the email.
Oh yeah, that's
that's
coming.
his favorite move.
It's
That's his
coming.
favorite move.
They
It's
couldn't
like
find
as soon as
somebody.
something falling down on him, it's just like he just gonna deflect it. It's like, it's like
He can't find those 30,000 emails.
exactly.
They
He's
can
like,
find
but now
someone.
all of a sudden y'all can find all of my communication, but where's Hillary's stuff?
They gotta take his phone from him, man. Like,
Oh, he ain't letting nobody take. He sleep with that phone. It's duct taped to
it's
his
taped
hand
to
right
his
now.
chest.
For real.
Twitter on standby.
Right.
That's his MO.
Yeah.
That dude. He gonna drive us into the ground.
He's trying.
Hurry up and get him out of there.
Right. Yeah, we're the laughing stock of the world. All right, so let's jump into Joyner Lucas. I'm not racist.
Yeah,
So this video definitely took the world by storm.
for sure. How
many
many
views?
million views he got
I
now?
know the other day when I was talking to you guys about it, it was like above 5 million
That's
already
cool.
in like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
and I know
finna
I
check
had watched
right
it
now.
like 6-7 times already.
Yeah, I've definitely got me myself quite a views on there. Quite a few views. I think I watched it at least 3 or 4 times.
And I'm glad you two told me what it was about, because I told Brandon that I actually saw the video. Not saw it, but I saw the still. But I saw the white guy with the "Make America Great Again." I was like, I'm not about to.
Yeah, you said
I'm not about to click on that.
Yeah, so as soon as I saw that, I forgot what hip hop outlet posted it. But when it was posted, it was on Facebook.
Okay.
And I saw "I'm Not Racist," but I know who
Joyner Lucas is.
Right, and I like his flow, everything. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be interesting, right? So I click on it, and the shock value immediately, like as you jump into it, the only reason
Definitely
I think I didn't
grabs your
lose my
attention.
mind,
Yeah.
was because I know his voice.
Yeah.
How he raps.
Right.
So if I would have known that, I would have thought that this was a
The white guy
man
saying
that.
really
Yeah.
talking. And I still, like, my emotions already were starting to bubble up, even though I knew who it was.
Yeah, still,
and
it
listening
didn't
to
make it any easier to hear.
Right.
By the way, 8.3 million views in 5 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's doing numbers right
Yeah.
now, man. And
Y'all
so-
help us get to that.
Right. But I think what really jumped out to me is this is the perspective that you always hear, like, in the Facebook comment sections and the forums, like
Exactly.
the white guy, "Make America Great Again," like, you just want to use Section 8 and listen to Tupac, and like he really just summed that whole perspective up in a verse. And then he came back with the young black male's perspective
Right.
of pretty much our perspective on pretty much everything. Like, so how we feel about that.
He was talking that talk.
Yeah,
I
it was
agree
well
with
done,
everything
man.
he
It was
said.
well done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what were you guys' initial thoughts as you really got into it?
So when I saw it initially, I already told you guys what I thought at first. But when I got into it, I was surprised at the candidness of the point of view of the white guy. That was I wasn't prepared for that, but then as I went through it, it was jarring, but it's like, okay, now everybody knows how we both feel, black and white. So it wasn't really anything that was like, oh, the world is about to change. It was a good perspective, a good point of view, a good piece of art. But now, once again, you guys know I always have this question, now what's next?
Yeah. That was, I was going to say, the big piece that was missing in my big piece of feedback to him is, where's the third verse about how we move forward?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you definitely introduced the conversation, right? Both perspectives are extremely accurate, but what do we do next, right? Instead of just hug.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
That's what I felt like we walked away with, saying, okay, I understand your perspective, you understand mine. Okay, hopefully we can get to where we need to be, but what do we do going forward to actually get there?
I think that's the part that I didn't agree with. Not the actual hugging, but the perception of, okay, now I understand you. No, you don't.
Never will.
There you go.
Never will.
As I've gotten older, I've gotten more aware and cognizant of the fact that they will never understand us. And it's not it even if you try to. Because I'm not saying that every white person feels exactly how this guy was. There's a lot of people who grow up around the culture or in the culture and who still are unaware of what it is to be a black man. You're never gonna understand,
right? Because
you haven't stepped in those shoes.
Yeah.
I know it's a tad off topic, but you know the Dan Rue cat.
Yeah.
He said the N-word and he got a little backlash off of that.
Right.
So this obviously he makes videos for a living with his black friend.
Yeah.
We know this dude is not. I wouldn't think that he was racist. He doesn't come off as racist. He's definitely grown up in the black community. You could tell just by the way that he talks, the way he dances, and all of that, whatever. But my thing is, he's still never gonna know what it's like to be a black man. They're never gonna understand this perspective because of the things that we went through, the things that our parents went through, and the things that our children are going to go through.
And you know, that's why it bothers me. I know it's kind of off topic when I bring this up. When I see the Post Malones and the little pumps and all of that, like, next.
Well, no, I'm gonna say, like, I it's cool to me that they embrace the culture, but I don't think they'll ever fully understand. I do think,
but I guarantee if you sit one of them down right now, they can tell you everything about black. And they'll tell you that their struggle is the same as ours.
And it's not.
I think, and I'm really pro-black, like as everyone really knows.
Blacker than black.
Right, I'm black, yo.
I'm black.
Yo. You know it's always the light-skinned dude that's the most pro-black. But, right, I should have been a CB4.
Michael Z. Oh, yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, like, there are some good-spirited and good-hearted white people in the world that are here to help us.
Sure.
And so, you know, being pro-black does not mean that I'm anti-white or I don't like white people, but I do want to see my black people empowered in the same way in which white people are. Have a level playing field, have the same opportunity, which we'll never have.
Right.
I don't truly, and I want to always celebrate anytime that black owned businesses or anything black is being successful.
Right. And I think that's the thing that is, I can't speak for white people because I ain't white, but I think that they are so caught off guard by that and they're so taken aback by us celebrating ourselves because they was like, okay, well, why is he celebrating the fact that, you know, they started a business or they did this and that? Because we have been
oppressed
we've been oppressed, we've been set behind the 8 ball. So we don't start we don't start at the starting line. We start 45,000 steps behind that starting line. That's the black starting line. So when we do make it, when we do have an accomplishment or we overcome something, hell yeah, I'm going to say, you know what? Yeah, big ups to that black dude. Big ups to that black woman for being able to accomplish something that a lot of other people haven't. Because we started off so far back. We got so oppressed and we got so taken advantage of that a lot of people didn't think that this is something that could be done.
Right. And everything that is our culture is turned into something bad, right? As soon as it makes it to the mainstream, it's turned into something bad. You wear a do-rag, right?
Yeah.
We didn't wear
hoodie.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything that we do turns into something bad. Hip-hop. Now, hip-hop is what's killing people and things like this is... Ultimately, they try to turn everything that we do into something bad. And I think
until they try to adopt it.
Well, they adopt it, but it's okay when they do it.
Right, exactly.
It's just not okay for us to do, right? Their kids can do it. Their kids can listen to this and that, but at the end of the day, they still live in suburbia and everything's okay.
We're not against
so
rap.
Okay. Right.
We're not against rappers.
Right.
But we are against those thugs.
We just want to control anything that we do. And I think as he shared that perspective, even his perception on the N-word, just like it always has a double meaning. I was glad that he shared that. Like,
absolutely.
You just feel like you're getting away with something when you use it, and you better not use it around me. Like that's ultimately where I'm at with it to this day.
For sure.
It's okay for us to use it, but it's not okay for them to use it. Like that's what their gripe is. You guys used it for several years, and I'm sure a lot of people still use it in their homes when we're not around.
Of course.
Yeah. I didn't say it. What I'll say, I didn't say it, but you say it around your close personal friends.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Say it in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
So,
I
think the big thing with this video, though, is that for the black people who didn't know, this is the Make America Great Again perspective. And for the white people, they got to hear the black people's perspective who don't have the black friends to tell them that this is our perspective. So I was happy with that being shared.
Yeah, that they got a chance to hear it.
Right.
They'll never understand it, but they got a chance to hear it.
But where does this take us? What's our next step? Right. I think we definitely got the shock value. Yeah. We got the message out, but what are we doing next? Right?
Like you mentioned, that third part.
Yep.
That third part. This isn't anything new. We already know where both stand, but what do we do to collaborate to make this? Yeah.
You got to keep pushing the issue. Yeah. Keep pushing the envelope. Keep putting it out there. Let them understand. Don't let this movement die down. Don't let your voice just fade into the background. Continuously start to put material out there. Put your actions out there. Continue to let your voice be heard. And I love the fact that it's young black people who are doing this, because it's always been so cliche for it to be that older black guy or that older black woman that's supposed to lead us into this next generation of prosperity and stuff like that. We need to continuously have our younger generation, us and those younger than us, push the envelope forward. Let them know that, hey, these generations aren't lost, that we were able to learn and grasp things from our parents and our parents' parents, that we can carry this thing forward. I mean, because I'm gonna be honest, I think my parents and my grandparents, they kind of felt like, you know what, we kind of lost that leadership when it came around to those 80s babies and those 90s kids.
They killed the leadership, man.
Well, that's true too.
Well, I and even go as far. I mean, they killed King, they killed Malcolm X, they killed Fred Hampton, they even killed the Kennedys, which I think was going to help blacks in the future. So they kill all that, but we have to create new leaders. Like, we have to create new leaders. And I think that the other thing is, when we think about segregation in those eras, we were all united as a people. Like, everybody was united as far as black people. Like, we knew what we were trying to accomplish. There's no vision right now. Like, there's no vision.
We got to get on the same page.
Right.
And we talked about this off air too. As a people now, our perception of things are off. What we hold close to the vest as what's important is off. The value, our moral values is off. You started talking about the 80s culture. I was born in 81. You all can do the math on how old I am based upon that.
60.
big old. So that's one of those things where this newer generation, I feel, is the generation that we have to attack. I call them the mumble rap generation. Other people may not agree with that. That's just what I call them, because the substance isn't there. You know, it's so much that's a distraction on what's really valued. Like, if you can go on Instagram right now and it's eyebrow this, it's money this, it's nothing of like real substance,
right,
as far as what we had when we were growing up. You know, and that can be a disconnect from the households, two-parent household, who knows? But there's a disconnect with this millennial or microwave generation that I feel we have to fix or remedy first.
It does, and I ultimately agree. It starts with us. Like, we have to build those type of relationships with the youth at this point to be able to bring them along, and give them what they're not getting at home.
It's got to be transparent for them, though. They have to. I mean, because here's the thing: is these niggas is selfish. I'm gonna just say it just like that. I mean, it is what it is. If they don't see it immediately affecting them, why? Why do I care? Why does this mean anything to me? Why am I gonna listen to you if it isn't immediately affecting me?
And then
it has to be transparent.
And it depends on who it's coming from. If it's coming from, that's an old head.
And that's what I said.
His things change. That's an old head.
Good point.
But I'm like, real is real no matter whom it's coming from. You have to be receptive.
I dig that.
Of what it is.
But you ultimately have to build that relationship to be
absolutely
real. And I think that's where it starts.
Absolutely.
Right? They'll listen once they understand. Like, as I'm like been training kids and things like that. Like, initially they don't want to hear all the outside talk, but after we done with their workout, or when you offer to take them somewhere, give them some free shoes or something that like they're open then. Like, they open up then, and then these type of conversations can happen, right? Then we can get to them or reach them, because they know that there's value in what we're saying and that we ultimately care about them.
I agree with that.
One of my mentors passed away a few weeks ago, but that's what he did with me. Like, ultimately, everything that was important to me became important to him. And then when it was time to fill my head with other knowledge, I was open to it, right? I was running to it because he was so impactful in my life by just listening, understanding, and being there when I needed him, that when it was time to actually provide me with something substantial, I was there and like, okay, right?
And that's the thing. We have to be consistent, too. We can't pick them up one week,
and then
the next week
down.
we don't pick them up no more. You know, we can't
Talk
take them to get some shoes, and now some other ones. You set this precedent of you're going to help whomever.
Like
you know,
I said, don't be sometimesy with me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, we got to put forth the consistent effort. Yeah, I totally agree. Y'all hit it on the head. I'm with that.
Okay. Well, but I think that this video sparked a lot of dialogue.
It is
across the nation, just people talking, and having the conversation and being more comfortable with having a starting point for that. And with that starting point, I think the big thing is, what is the album going to look like, and what will he be doing with that? Because people are going to be waiting on it now, right? Is this going to be a true conscious album? Is he really going to delve into some of these type of topics? Or is this going to be a single and we're just going to rapidy rap for 14, 15 tracks?
I just want him to keep being a leader. Keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah. But if you give us 60 unfocused bars on the next track after this, like, that's not going to do anything for the buzz that you created. Right? You give us a funk flex freestyle type verse. Next, like, you created this buzz, see it through, right? Your next project.
I just hope this isn't you know how Dead Prez had the for the Bigger Than Hip Hop video, the girl walking with the big behind, and it said, "Now that I got your attention." I hope this isn't a "Now that I got your attention" in reverse.
I feel you.
You know.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he has the platform, and I'm sure everybody's gonna back him now that he has it. I would really use this opportunity to reach out to some of the bigger names that do rap in this way. Like, I think the comments, I really think that this is a great space for, I know you guys know who he is, Locksmith.
Mm-hmm.
This is somebody great to link up with that I think will have a lot to say.
I did that. That's a good one.
Yeah, that they could have a track. There's a lot of, we have a lot of conscious rappers out here that could, the Joey Bads of the world, people like that'll really jump on with him and help him deliver the type of album that I would love to see.
Yeah, interesting to see what he does to follow up. I really am.
Yeah, Kendricks, all of those. Yeah, so, but yeah,
you trying to bait me? You trying to bait me into some Kendrick talk?
No, man, we're gonna let it breathe this week.
Oh, okay,
we're gonna let it breathe this week, man.
Talk that Kendrick talk, whatever. We trying to wait to the end of the year for the albums of the year lists and everything, but yeah, man, I'm not talking about this Wu-Tang on my list, so we gonna have some issues. I already know Wu-Tang, and we not gonna include Kendrick. Y'all ain't.
I didn't say Kendrick album wasn't nice.
We gonna do our list separately because I'm not messing with y'all lists, man.
Right?
I'm not messing with y'all lists, man.
My list dope, man. Pass me the aux cord.
We ain't even talked about wasn't Tribe's album this year?
No, that was 16. That was
16.
End of 16.
I think so. I think that's
I think they just counted for the Grammy year, but I think it was last year.
Was it? I think it might have been.
It was last year.
But yeah, that Wu ain't going in my list.
Disrespectful.
Layla's wisdom is there though, so I'm gonna be happy with that.
Right, we on the same page with that, John.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much anything that you guys housekeeping items stuff you want to talk through.
Nah, man, same thing as always. Follow us on all of the platforms. We got everything listed in the description and all of that. Just keep rocking with us, man. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff.
We will be consistent. Like, we're gonna get you an episode every week. We're gonna have a podcast that goes missing. We'll have content for you consistently. So we want to make sure that we're staying on top of what's present and what's going on.
And if you want to hear something different, drop it a comment. Let us know what you're interested in, what you want to hear from us.
And just ride with us. This is our third episode, so we're still in our infancy. We're still growing. So hit us up in the comments, like Aaron stated, if you want something that you want on, something you think we should do.
Steph need a nickname.
Albums we need to review.
So we closing up shop. Thank you, everybody. So that's it. I don't have anything else, y'all.
I'm done, man.
All right. Y'all have a good week.
All right. Be safe.